Welcome to the Ocean Community 50 Under 50. Welcome to the Ocean Community 50 Under 50 series, presented by the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce. The road to success starts at Valenti family of auto dealerships, and visibility along the journey increases greatly with the help of 321 Media. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce's 50 Under 50 series, powered by Valenti Family of Dealerships and 321 Media. My name is Ben Barber from 321, and I am so excited to be joined by today's honoree, who I consider an old friend, and I was very excited to see how excited she was when she walked in the door. Tricia Cunningham. Tricia, how are you?
I am great. Good to see you.
You too. It's been a minute since we saw each other, but you know, we go all the way back to the beginning days of COVID
days when we had to get creative, and the famous word pivot that became so popular then.
Yes.
So we had to pivot, and we worked great together, and you were a wonderful resource. So I'm forever thankful for that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm going to now do the most uncomfortable part of the show, the only uncomfortable part, I think, which is where I read your bio at you.
Great.
Are you ready for that?
Great.
Are you sure you're ready for that?
Okay. I'll sit back and listen.
You just sit back and take it. Tricia Cunningham is a passionate and I'm going to say a bunch of nice stuff in a row. Brace yourself.
Okay.
Tricia Cunningham is a passionate and experienced nonprofit leader with over 2 decades of service to Southeastern Connecticut. She currently serves as the executive director of Always Home, a nonprofit dedicated to preventing family homelessness. Under her leadership, the organization has seen a 42% rise in families served, thanks to strategic community partnerships and strong donor engagement, including securing 3 major ARPA grants. Tricia's extensive career includes leadership roles at the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce, Fairview, and the Denison Sepos, I'm so sorry, Nature Center. I practiced that and I still got it wrong. She has consistently used her skills to build new programs, develop teams, and strengthen community connections. She is a proud recipient of the Athena Leadership Award, a Paul Harris Fellow through the Rotary Club of Mystic, and was honored in the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce's 40 Under 40. Mm-hmm. Tricia actively serves on the board of the Rotary Club of Mystic and the Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation. She's a key member of the Eastern Coordinated Access Network Executive Committee and represents ECAN on the Connecticut Coalition to End Homelessness Policy and Advocacy Committee. Her deep commitment to community is reflected in years of service with numerous regional organizations. She holds a degree in philosophy from the University of Rhode Island and is a frequent speaker on leadership and nonprofit impact. Tricia lives in North Stonington with her husband, Keith. She's the proud mother of 2 adult daughters and one middle-aged son.
Well, he's going into middle school.
One school-aged son.
You're onto something.
Not middle-aged, not quite yet. And a devoted grandmother to 4 grandchildren who continue to inspire and ground her. She finds balance in family time, photography, hiking, and is the proud pet mom of 2 cats and 2 bearded dragons. Tricia, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome to me. I don't know why I just said welcome.
Hey, listen, I say things like that all the time.
Welcome to the viewers.
Welcome. Yeah, I'm the type of person that, like, you know, if I'm talking to you on the phone, I will say, okay, love you, bye.
All the time.
Like,
yeah.
Well, it's going to be an awkward oil change. Like,
yeah. If you know me, I'm incredibly awkward in general, and I'm also wildly authentic. So
and that's what we love about you, Tricia. That is what we love about you. I have been fortunate enough to work with you at 2 different locations. So we did the Fairview Gala, and then we also did the Always Home event.
Yes.
At some point. And
that was right after. And right when I was actually moving into that role, I was like slowly
you were like, well, let's just take Ben with me.
Yeah.
Appreciate that always. So that was a lot of fun. And you have been well, let's start from the beginning. You live in North Stonington now. You graduated from URI. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in East Lyme, Connecticut. So I went to high school in East Lyme, and like many people, product of divorce. So my father was in Rhode Island, and my mom and stepdad here in Connecticut. So I kind of went back and forth a little bit. So my roots are definitely Rhode Island and Connecticut for sure.
Well, that's why we're the ocean community,
There you
right?
go.
It's I mean, we can literally see the dividing line behind us on the river. It's very small.
You have the best view here, by the way.
Oh, hey, thanks. It's the only thing I like about the place. Anyway, moving on. You, what made you want to? What did you go to URI for?
Well, I got my degree in philosophy and I minored in women's studies because, to be perfectly honest, I never really know what I want to do or be. All I do know is that I want to make a contribution and make a positive difference, right? So philosophy was perfect for that. And yeah, I don't really, how I ended up here after college is kind of a circuitous story, but I was getting ready to move across the country because I didn't know what I wanted to do or where I was going to go. And there was a position open at the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce at the time. And that is how I ended up there. My mother reached out to them and said, hey, I heard you had a position open, and I ended up with an interview, and then I got that. And then I've been here ever since. And I was at the Mystic Chamber for about 13 years and was the president for about 8 of those years. And from then have
Wow.
always stayed focused on nonprofit work. So all of my professional roles have been in nonprofit.
Do you prefer the nonprofit sector? I mean, you've stayed in it, so
yeah, I find it very rewarding,
Okay, yeah.
and I've changed directions. So right now in my current work is vastly different from the Mystic Chamber of Commerce, for example.
Yeah.
But it's all about community and making a positive impact. So, and I'm not afraid of change and learning something new. And that's something I think we should all embrace.
That's beautiful. How did you come to work and be the executive director of Always Home?
Oh, so the previous director I've known Always Home for many years, and I've been to their galas and have supported the work. But the previous director I knew, and as she was getting ready to retire, I knew that was happening, and I had some time to think about it. One, the positive impact. Well, it's multifaceted. Okay.
Yeah, most decisions are
multifaceted. One, a few years prior to that, I was the recipient of Ocean Community Chamber's Athena Award. And when I received that award, it was kind of like, okay, I've done all these things for the community and for women in the community, but my work's not done. What else can I do? So that was kind of, how can I make a larger impact on the community? So that was kind of looming in the back of my mind because there's more that I had to contribute. At around the same time, one of my daughters had a very difficult time with her housing. It's a long story, but her partner had a critical health condition. And at that time, Always Home was able to help them stabilize their housing through a car repair. There was a lot going on with them because of this health issue. Neither of them were working. And it was a very big financial burden on them. There was family surrounding them, helping them where we all could, but more kept piling on. And so they were spiraling out of control a little bit financially, and their housing was going to be next. Always Home was able to come in and help them with that car repair, which was huge. And knowing that job was opened, I did apply for it, even though I didn't have much in the way of housing experience. Community relations, fundraising, leadership, nonprofit management, had all of that, but housing, whole new ball game. I have learned so much. I would not have changed my decision for the world going into this field, knowing the people that were able to impact, the families that were able to impact and stabilize. I don't regret it for a second. But that's what brought me there, that personal experience, knowing that an organization like Always Home helped this family that I love so much. Knowing that we can help other families like that is what drives me.
You may not have had the experience in that specific sector of nonprofit, but you can't measure heart and passion and love and drive, and I think that is what your dedication to the community and to helping others has been this thing that continuously drives you. And the fact that you saw this opportunity to help people that you've never helped before and go figure it out and do it. And it's such an important, like, homelessness and just housing insecurity in general is such a rampant thing right now. Prices are nuts, and even people with good jobs are finding it.
One little hiccup, one little misstep, things will, needing a car repair, anything like that, or lost hours for a week, anything like that, or helping take care of a loved one. There's so many things that will cause a family to go sideways. And if we can stop that before it gets further out of control, that's where we like to focus. And I never feel like we're doing enough, right?
Of course, because you can't help everybody all the time in every way that they need, and there's
a bigger issue with the economy at play and things that are
things that
outside of our control.
Yeah.
So we just have to remind ourselves of the things that we cannot control.
Yes. Yeah. You can only do what's in front of you, what you're able to handle, and but that being said, under your leadership, the organization's seen a 42% rise in families served. That is massive
and scary, right?
Yeah.
So it shows the dramatic need in our community. And this is not just, here we are, Ocean Community Chamber. Always Home serves Eastern Connecticut, but this is not an Eastern Connecticut issue. This is just who our organization happens to serve. This is an issue that crosses state lines. It's a national challenge that we're seeing across the board.
It definitely is. How did you get involved with the Denison Nature Center?
Nature Center.
Pequot-Sipos?
Denison Pequot-Sipos.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nature Center. So I had the delight of working there. It was a short time, but an impactful time, and an inspirational time. And I was able to serve as their director of development, and it was I still support them and go to their events. I'm doing their Woodland Ramble. So I love that organization. And my son has gone to nature camp every summer. And that is just such a precious organization that focuses on the, being grounded in nature and supporting our local green spaces. So to have that opportunity to support them in that way and do fundraising for them was such a great experience for me.
Are they connected with the Mashantucket Pequots?
No, not directly, but the land that they're on, right? The Coogan Farm, if you go back, and that was land that was probably lived on by the Mashantucket Pequot. So there is a close relationship, I'm sure, but not directly.
Not directly,
no.
Yeah. When were you a part of that organization?
Well, I go by how old my son was. This is like my new timing. So he was about 5 and he's 11 now. So figure that one out.
So like 2019?
Probably. Yeah. Very good. But it was a short time. I was there for just a little while, and then I actually went back to Fairview. So I was at Fairview and left, and then I went back to Fairview, and that's kind of how that happened. So when I talk about my professional experience, I've moved and changed, and I think that's okay.
It's totally okay. Yeah.
And I think that's something that sometimes people get kind of comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think it is so important to get uncomfortable and to step outside of your comfort zone and do different things that excite you, that you can learn from, um, and grow. And also not just about yourself, but how can you bring your gifts to others also?
Yep. I remember doing preschool distance learning with my nephew in like March of 2020, and the Denison Nature Center it had like virtual field trips that they would do, and you could go on and Zoom with people that would like take you through the animals, and it was so cool.
Yes.
So big fan of them. Um, Rotary. How'd you get involved with Rotary?
Oh, well, I've been in Rotary. So I was a member of the Mystic Rotary, and then I was with Groton Rotary, and then Mystic again. It's part of my DNA. Goes back to that community engagement. And one of the things I love about Rotary in general is they have something called the 4-way test. And it is something that I will always recite to myself if I have a question that I'm pondering the best path forward on. And it's the 4-way test is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And I feel like that's such a good way to live when you're ever, because sometimes we're stumped with what's the best decision to make, and I think it's always good to go back to that 4-way test. So I use that at other times as well.
That's awesome.
And that's what keeps me present in Rotary is the good tenets that it's built upon. And it's both locally focused, but also nationally focused. So the Rotary makes a big impact locally and nationally.
And what is a Paul Harris Fellow?
That is someone who gives back to the community. So the Rotary Club itself will choose every year will select someone who's in the club and also maybe someone else in the community that they'd like to recognize for their engagement. So last year they recognized me as their Paul Harris Fellow, which was great because it's a long line of pretty cool Rotary Club members that have been recognized.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
You're on a lot of boards.
I have been, and I am. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation.
Okay. Are you familiar with them?
I'm not.
Okay. So Terry Broder Breast Cancer Foundation was founded about 20-ish years ago, where there was a woman named Terry Broder who did pass away from breast cancer, and a close friend of hers, and she was a young mom, and so left behind her children, and her dear friend Norma Logan and another dear friend Sandy Maniscalco got together and said, let's do something in honor of Terry Broder where 100% of the fundraising proceeds will go to scientific research. So there was a few folks that were all from Pfizer as well, so very entrenched in research, that got together and put this walk. It's a full marathon, 26-mile walk that starts in Old Saybrook and ends in Waterford, and it's the first Saturday of October. But 100% of the proceeds from that walk, where you could do the full marathon, half marathon, quarter marathon, or a 5K, goes to scientific research. So, and each year through that fundraising, our organization, we have a separate scientific advisory board that goes through about 20 different grant applications and then is able to select sometimes 3, but usually 4 recipients, $125,000 grants for research. Wow. So directly for research. And so it's very minimal costs to run that organization, and 100% of those proceeds goes to research. So we're big fans of that in my household and in my family.
That is awesome. ECAN.
Oh, so that goes back to our work now that I'm with Always Home. ECAN is the Eastern Coordinated Access Network. And what that is, in the state of Connecticut, there's the Coordinated Access Network, which is all about the homeless response system, the housing response system. So it's, it takes everybody working together to find the solutions and to try to get at problems quick and try to get people out of shelter or not in shelter at all. So it's all of these pieces. So Always Home, for example, we don't have a shelter, but we work with the shelters, and it's all the pieces together that is a coordinated access network. So that's what that is. So we all meet monthly to talk about the regional issues and cold weather problems, and even in the summer as we're approaching the heat, how do we work together as a region to try to problem solve? So that's a big, Always Home, for example, we can't solve the issues on our own, nor can another agency, but if we all work together, that's an ideal scenario. And even housing placement, monthly, the groups will meet together to look at really challenging scenarios and see what can be done collaboratively to help this family or that individual. So that's what the Coordinated Access Network is.
I can tell why you speak on leadership and nonprofit impact, and why you are winning all of these awards.
Well, why though? I know you have a question, but really, it goes back to, for me, it's about my family. I have strong leadership in my family. My mom and my father and my stepfather were all very heavily involved in their community, our community. And even my brother, Matt Spring, what's really cool is I just narrowly made this 50 under 50. I'm 48. So my younger brother, Matt Spring, he was also a 50 under 50 recipient. So I
have not gotten to speak to him yet.
It's
please tell him to schedule.
I'll give him I'll harass him. But so, between just watching our parents and watching them lead in the community kind of has inspired us, I think. So he's on a lot of different boards as well. So it's in like I said, it is literally in my DNA.
Do you have any advice for me? I'm on my first board. I was asked to be on my first board ever this year.
That's exciting. So, good.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving back. Do you mind telling me what it is?
Well, no, I'm on the board of the chamber. I'm on the board of the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce.
Awesome.
So do you have any advice for me? Because I missed a meeting today.
Don't miss meetings. That's number one. I'm sure there's a good excuse.
I had to go film something in East Greenwich, and I was doing a show with them this morning, and I texted Grace late last night, and I was like, "Hey, someone's sick. I think I have to go film something in East Greenwich tomorrow during the meeting." And she was like, "Can you let me know by 9 a.m. because so we can cancel your order for lunch?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And then I was like, "By the way, who's the co-host with me tomorrow morning on the Chamber show?" And she was like, "Me." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then at 8:59, as we were ending it, I was like, "Oh, by the way, Grace, I can't go today." So I'm doing a bang up job on the board to start for sure. But it's so cool. The people that are on there, and I'm just like, I'm listening at the board meetings going, you guys are all so much smarter than I am. This is wonderful. And, I'm here to just point a camera at people, I'm sure, which is good.
You will learn so much.
So I've learned so much.
You will learn so much, and don't be afraid to ask questions. So ask the questions. Don't be shy, because two reasons. One, so that you get the information and the knowledge, but also there might be someone else around the table that has the same question, and maybe they were shy, or that I'll ask that later, but ask the questions. And I think that's what builds the dialogue. And don't be afraid of that.
I was talking to another 50 under 50 award winner today, Brandon Donahue, and owner of Westerly and Mystic Paints. And he and I are the same age, basically. And we went to high school together at Cheraho, actually. And so we were talking afterwards about this. And I was like, man, we were talking about the board of directors, because he's not on, but his dad was always a part of it and everything, Paul. And he was like, he's like, I don't know what I could contribute to that. And I'm like, I got to be honest, man. Sometimes I listen to Dan Lathrop talk, who's the same age as I am. And I'm like, you're an adult and I'm a child. And I don't know what that man is so smart. Like he's talking about the economic impact of stuff, like blah blah blah, and I'm like, this is incredible. This is incredible. So like, be on boards with people smarter than you. Volunteer to be around people smarter than you. It pays off.
Always surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. That's something we talked about a little bit before we started the interview. Is I have a extremely talented team of people that work with me, and I surround myself with people that have gifts that I don't have. So like a wonderful marketing manager, donor grant writer, brilliant, a wonderful social worker, a diversion specialist, people that have gifts that do things that I can't do.
Yep.
And that's the same thing with the board, and not to be intimidated by that, but to be open to it.
Oh,
and
it's awesome because they're always, and generally speaking, when you work in that, like whether you're on a board of directors with somebody or you're, working in a nonprofit or anywhere, like people want to help other people. Like ask questions, people will answer them. Speaking of, like, you are not that much older than me.
No,
but you're not that much older than me.
Right. I would
at
argue
all.
that, but okay.
You're a little bit older than me, but not much. You are a grandmother to 4 grandchildren.
Yes, they're so
That's
sweet.
Incredible.
So when I
think you're probably the only grandmother on this list.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll have to poll everybody going forward.
Maybe.
So when
there's 1 or 2 possibles.
1 or 2 possibles. I might be one of the oldest people on the 50 under 50, but when I married my husband Keith, he had 2 beautiful daughters, Twyla and Freya, who are now in young adults.
Yep.
But they were 7 and 9 when I met him, and so they've been in my life for a very long time, and I in theirs, and so they're babies. They're my grandbabies, and so one of them has 3 beautiful kiddos, and one of them has her first baby, and it's so much fun. So much fun, and they're all the best. Yeah,
that's amazing. How did you and Keith meet? What a laugh.
No, a friend of mine, we went over to his house, and it was love at first sight. It was love at first sight, and it's been almost 20 years that we've been married, and it's fun just thinking back when you have that life with somebody. Think back and all the different things that you've done together or things that you've accomplished together. I mean, 4 grandkids.
Yeah,
look at that.
That's great.
It's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then your youngest, what's his name?
He is Keegan, and he's 11.
Aww.
And he's a Boy Scout, and so learning a lot. So I've become like this Scout mom, which I never expected, and camping and in cold-ish weather. So it's broadening again, going back to being uncomfortable. So, and learning new things. That's something that I'm learning how to tie knots that I never knew how to tie before, and setting up my tent, and things like that I hadn't really done before. I would have my husband do that. Yeah. So now I'm doing it. So that feels really good. So
being
again,
a Scout mom.
Yeah, stepping outside of that comfort zone.
I love it. The grandkids, boys, girls, mix. Nice.
All of the above. Yeah.
Love it.
2 girls, 2 boys.
Oh, yep. You got an even split.
Even split.
I know you remember the 40 under 40.
Yeah.
And now you're a member of the 50 under 50. What did that mean to you to be honored again?
I love that I'm under 50 still. So sorry,
spoiler alert, later in the year there's going to be a 50 over 50.
Oh, good.
So I mean, you probably would have got hit one way or the other. But then you could have been one of the youngest.
Good, I'll have to start coming up with a list of nominees. That's exciting. Yes. All right, cool. So it's just, it's one of the coolest parts of it is being part of that group alongside my brother. It's really special. Cool. That's really neat. But just being recognized for continuously, again, giving back is something that's so important to me. So being recognized for that, and that leadership in the community is really special, and it means a lot to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's next?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
I'm really
mean,
busy right now with
yeah, I'm
the
hopefully
housing side of things. So
like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you're going to try, but I don't know how you're going to stop homelessness.
yeah, yeah,
So you're, like that's, you do what you can, right?
yeah.
That's the,
It's so, I'm sure many people have heard the story before, but have you heard the sea star? It's starfish, but the seas, this, but in honor of my friends at the Mystic Aquarium, the sea star story. Do you know that
no,
story? Okay. So would you humor me with this for just a second? Okay.
my afternoon is yours.
Oh, okay. But this is what keeps me grounded. So there's this story of this little girl. It changes depending on who's telling it, but there's this little girl walking along the seashore, and the beach is covered with starfish, and they need to be in the water. So she goes down, she bends down and picks up one starfish and carefully, gently tosses it into the ocean. And this old guy comes along and he's like, he's watching her slowly pick up this starfish and tossing it in, another one tossing it in. But he looks beyond her and there's all of these starfish covering the beach. And he says to her, he said, why are you even bothering? What difference are you making? Look at, there's all of these starfish. And she picks up another one and she tosses it in to the water. And she said, well, I made a difference to that one. And that is what keeps me going, because otherwise it can get insurmountable feeling for all of us, like no matter what we're doing,
Yeah.
right? No matter
Yeah.
what we're doing in any day, serving a customer, doing this, or, anything that we're doing, like if, we're making a difference to that one person in front of us. So being present and conscientious and making a difference in that moment.
I love it.
Yeah.
It is, it's a big issue that you're trying to help people with, and I don't know that we've ever needed it more than we do right now. And thank you for all of your work and for everyone at Always Home, because I know, like you said, you have a great team and it's a fantastic organization, and you can't do it without all of those people.
Without
So
all of those people
yeah,
and our supporters, it's very broad. We have an amazing community, Ben, of people that like support the vast amount of nonprofits doing incredible work.
yeah.
We are all supported by an incredible community of supporters.
Anything that we didn't cover that you'd like to?
No, I just want a quick shout out to my family.
Yeah.
It really, I was raised by some incredible people who showed me what it was to give back and to care about those around you. So, yeah.
Well, you've done a terrific job following in their footsteps and creating a legacy for your kids and grandkids to now
Yes.
step into. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I love. I think this is the longest that we've ever talked uninterrupted by work that we were doing. So this has been very nice. Although I feel like we sat around for a little bit during that first one.
This is true.
During the
Yeah.
first thing that we did, we were just like in that empty hall uh, over at Fairview, like nothing, like there was we were just waiting for people. There was nothing we could do. It was like five of us in a room
Right.
together. And so I think maybe we talked for longer then, but man, and I always wanted to go swimming in that pool that was right outside the door, but like, anyway, next time,
Next time.
next time you have a gig that has a pool, give me a call,
We'll
Tricia.
do. We'll do.
Thank you so much. I see exactly why you were one of the 50 under 50 honorees. Incredibly well deserved, as
Thank
are all
you.
of your other accolades. Ladies and gentlemen, Tricia Cunningham, thank you so much to Valenti Family of Dealerships and 321 Media. That always sounds weird to say because it's me. And of course, thank you to the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce. We'll be back tomorrow night with more 50 under 50. Bye for now.